Good evening, everybody. Hell's Unicorn here once again, and I just have a reaction to an article that I just read yesterday. I had been kind of chewing on it for the past day, and I've been trying to figure out exactly how to feel about this. I didn't know whether I should feel agitated or pissed off or just downright revolted about it. I was pretty much stuck between those three, but I have since collected my thoughts and decided to try to give a somewhat astute and mild mannered reaction to this. This is an article that can be found on the Wall Street Journal homepage. This was put up on February 11th, and it's been the talk of many people in the upper portion of my state near the border with New York, and it's even more the talk over in New Jersey, where a lot of people own properties in New York that they sometimes go to for vacations or for purposes of making their commute to work a little bit easier. Some people that are a little bit more well off than others own two homes. It's something that people do, so please spare me though. Well, I don't have two homes, so these people don't need two homes. Crap. Not your judgment to make. And this was written by Craig Carman, and this is titled Out of State Owners Could Face Tax Bill. Connecticut and New Jersey residents with a Hampton summer cottage or a Manhattan pied-à-terre are about to get a nasty surprise. New York State wants more taxes from them. A New York court ruled last month that all income earned by a New Canaan, Connecticut couple is subject to New York State taxes because they own a summer home on Long Island they used only a few times a year. They have been hit with an additional tax bill of $1.06 million. Tax experts and real estate brokers say this ruling could boost the tax bill for thousands of business executives who own New York City apartments they use only occasionally. It could also hurt sales in the Hamptons and New York's other vacation home communities. People will think twice about spending any summertime in New York, says Robert Willens, a New York-based tax consultant. The amount of tax they could be subjected to is likely to outweigh the benefit. A spokesman for the state taxation department issued a written statement that said it was pleased with the decision. However, these cases are fact-intensive, and as such, each case stands on its own specific fact pattern, it said. The new ruling applies only to people who spend more than 183 days in New York, which would include many out-of-state commuters to the city. For years, New York law stated that these people have to pay taxes on any income they make in the state, but they generally haven't had to pay New York taxes on income they make outside of the state or on their spouse's income if they work elsewhere. Under the recent ruling, this might change for many out-of-state residents who own vacation homes or apartments here. In effect, it interprets what counts as a permanent residence. In defining a permanent place of abode, New York tax code specifically excludes a mere camper cottage, which is suitable and used only for vacations. New York tax experts say the new ruling is the first they recall that counts summer homes as permanent residences. This is going to open up a Pandora's box, said Eric Kramer, a tax attorney in Uniondale, New York. I don't think anyone previously thought vacation homes would count as a permanent residence. Income that now could be taxable by New York includes capital gains, dividends, and securities, attorneys said. In the event of an audit, these homeowners would be responsible for back taxes plus interest and penalties as a result of their New York property. Judge Joseph Pinto, a New York administrative law judge, made the novel ruling in a 2009 case that was affirmed last month on appeal by a New York State Tax Appeals Tribunal. Mr. Pinto seized on what is meant by a permanent residence, which is the benchmark for whether all or just the in-state portion of an individual's income is subject to New York State tax. Mr. Pinto ruled that in the couple's Long Island vacation home qualifies under the law as a permanent abode because it was suitable for year-round living. How they came up with that one, I don't know. Whether or not the couple actually stayed in the home wasn't relevant. Under the ruling, if an owner doesn't spend a single day in a home, it could still count toward a permanent residence. The Napeag, Long Island house was purchased by John and Laura Baker for $260,000. In 1997, according to court documents, Mr. Barker works in New York City. From 2002 to 2004, the period that was assessed for back taxes, the Barkers said they spent only a few days a year at the Long Island home, usually during the summer. The appeals court upheld the ruling that it's not the owner's intended use of the house that matters, but whether the home could be used all year long. The court said that the house is approximately 1,122 square feet with heat, electricity, and internet service, making it very habitable and comfortable year-round, according to court documents. The court also said that Mrs. Barker's parents, who sometimes stayed in the home throughout the colder months, were evidence that it was a permanent residence, even though the Barkers never used it that way. The Barkers countered that they used the home only a few days a year, adding that the refrigerator was usually empty. Court documents showed they cited clothing not being stored there as evidence that it was a part-time residence. We think the decision is wrong. We are evaluating our options, including a continuation of appeals, Mr. Barker said. We imagine this decision will have a chilling effect on New York tourism and real estate values, among other second and third order effects. Tax attorneys said they were unlikely to get the ruling overturned. The last paragraph, where it says, we imagine this decision will have a chilling effect on New York tourism and real estate values. You know something, Mr. Johnny-come-lately? You ain't kidding, buddy. If ever in the long future, that is the rest of my life, I come into enough money to buy a second home, you can sure as hell bet it's not going to be in New York. The state of New York can kiss my ass if they think that I'm paying for their poor budgeting practices. Let's face this. The reason why all of this is going on is because the state is fucking broke. All right? Just think about this for a second. Why else would a court be seeking to shake more money out of people that don't even live in the fucking state more than a couple of days out of the year? I mean, this stuff really gets to me. I mean, it's one thing to try to thrust a huge national health care system on everybody, regardless to what the Interstate Commerce Clause actually means. It's quite another for state governments to invade the sovereignty of other state residents in order to increase their revenues. I mean, this is clearly a case where federal courts are going to have to get involved and to set this up. And it will be under the Commerce Clause, because let's face this will greatly impact the regularity of commerce between New York and every other state in this country. If you want my personal opinion, I think that anybody that owns a house in some other state and also owns one in New York should sell it for $1, cut your losses, and count yourself as lucky that the New York Revenue Service isn't busting down your door right now. If they bust down your door after you sell, pay your taxes for that year, but then after that, just wipe that state right off of your fucking shoulders. This state does not deserve anybody else's money, no matter how much it wants it, and it sure as hell does not deserve to be able to sidestep constitutional laws that everybody else has to follow. I don't care how many people live there. I don't care how much money is in there. I don't care how snazzy the suits of the politicians that run that state are. They're not entitled to do this. So anyway, that's pretty much my piece on this issue. Please feel free to click the link in the description and read this article for yourself. Don't take my word for this. Don't take anybody's word for anything on anything. Trust, but always verify. Because the truth, my friends, is stranger than fiction. With prudence to myself and benevolence to all of you, good evening.